Our math objective is simplifying a numerical expression using order of operations. So what is order of operations anyway? Let's bring in a mathematician for some help. Meet Fibonacci, the greatest mathematician of the Middle Ages. There's a sequence named after him. Order. What does that mean, Fibonacci? Order means doing things in a specific sequence. For instance, we put on our socks before we put on our shoes. Operations in math means processes such as adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, grouping, and exponents. Thank you, Fibonacci. So, we have a whole bunch of operations in math, and we're going to put them in specific order. The first of those is parentheses. So whenever we see symbols of inclusion, for instance as parentheses or brackets, we do those first. If there's multiple symbols of inclusion, we start from the inside and work our way to the outside. The second operation is exponents. Those are those little numbers we see in the upper right hand corner of a number. That means repeated multiplication. The third operation is multiplying and dividing. Notice we're doing these together. These are inverse operations. They are not to be done separately. Think of them as a married couple, where multiplying goes, dividing goes as well. Now, if there's multiple multiplying and dividing operations to do, we do whichever ones come first from left to right. Finally, the last is adding and subtracting. These are also inverse operations of each other, so we do these together as well. And if there's multiple adding and subtracting opportunities, we do whichever comes first, left to right. So we have 4 steps when doing the order of operations. Some math teachers will point out that these 4 steps spell out a word, P-E-M-D-A-S, PEMDAS. And that's just a mnemonic device, or mnemonic device, excuse me, to help us remember what to do. Let's do a numerical expression as an example. So we're going to simplify 8 plus 30 divided by 3 times the quantity 5 minus 10 plus 3 squared. Now I'm going to keep the word PEMDAS over there to the right as a reminder of what to do. Now, we see the P first, so we're going to do just the parentheses. Now, we do have parentheses in this expression, and inside is 5 minus 10, so we just do that. And that gives us a quantity of -5, because there's more negatives than positives there. Notice everything else is there, we just didn't touch it. There's no more, well, we have this parentheses still, but this is going to denote multiplication later. There's only one value there, so we're done with the parentheses. Second is exponents, and we do have one over there at the end. We have 3 to the second power. This 2 is telling us that we have 2 factors of 3, so we take 3 times 3 and we get 9. And everything else that was not touched is still there. So we've done the first 2 steps. Now, here is a common mistake a lot of students will make. They want to multiply before they divide. Remember, multiplying and dividing is one operation. We do these together from left to right. So we start at the left and we look at the operations. We're going to skip the plus because we're not doing that right now. Then we go to our next operation, dividing. Yes, we're going to divide 30 divided by 3. Just this right here. We ignore everything else. And that gives us a quotient of 10. We're still making our way to the right, and we have this 10 next to this -5 separated by parentheses. This means to multiply, and we were still in this step 3 here. So we're going to multiply 10 times -5 and get a product of -50. And we're going to skip that plus 9. Now we are in our final phase. We're going to add and subtract from starting at the left, working our way to the right. 8 plus -50 will give us a sum of -42. And we're going to finish this off by taking -42, adding 9, and getting -33. So this long expression up here simply means, or can be simplified down to, negative 33.